What's up, everyone? Welcome to the Quadcast, the show where we get real, get raw, and get loud about mental health, substance use, and the fight to take our lives back.
Each episode, we're cutting through the stigma, dropping knowledge, sharing stories, and bringing the heat with guests who have lived it and aren't afraid to talk about it.
So turn it up, lock in, and let's break barriers, spark change, and build a community that refuses to stay silent. You're tuned into the Quadcast, and let's get into it.
You can find us on Patreon, Facebook, Instagram, or email us. The Quadcast is always looking for new guests, whether you're individuals that have experienced it, you're in law enforcement, treatment programs, nurses, doctors, or anyone that just has something to say. Come share your story with us on mental health or substance abuse.
Warning, there's cussing in this video. If you don't like swear words, well, you're
watching the wrong damn show.
All right, so we have Dalton Cline here on the show with us today, and we're going to be diving into the substance use and abuse background and some treatment background as to what he does today. So, Dalton, if you'll just take a minute and introduce yourself and what you do and take it away.
Yes, sir. What's going on, everybody? It's Dalton. So I'm up here in Parkersburg, West Virginia now. Just a little backstory. I'm going to go into it with everything. It's where I'm at today and what addiction did to my life and what recovery has done for my life. So I am a certified PRSS. That is actually currently what I do for employment now. I am currently employed at Recovery Point Parkersburg. I am a client from that former facility. So I'm also, CPR, Narcan, supportive counselor, basically every hours of anything working inside of a treatment facility, I have the qualifications to do so outside of actually having the formal degree. Very fortunate, very grateful to be where I'm at today and the opportunities that I've been given through sobriety and recovery. So to kind of give you a little backstory, I'm originally from Lewisburg, West Virginia. Mac and I actually grew up together. We're childhood friends. I think we've known each other since we were in diapers, if I'm not mistaken.
That would be correct.
I was actually going through looking at pictures, old pictures of us. I mean, all the way from the time that we could walk around, we were side by side. So I will tell you, growing up, man, so I'm not going to sit here and say that I had this rough bringing up childhood or anything like that. It did at the beginning. It was a little, I don't want to say it was traumatic. So my parents divorced when I was about 4 or 5 years old. I don't have a lot of memory from it other than there was a altercation that happened between my mother and father. The next thing I know, the police were called. My dad was out the door. I didn't see my dad for a while. I remember my dad showing back up at Christmas, and he was in and out from there. So, it wasn't like this hard upbringing life. I mean, I remember growing up in Caldwell, and we had this house on the hill, man, and we had this wood stove in the front. I can remember there's a number that I always keep close to me, man. It's 17, and it was only for a short period of time, but my mother only had $17 after she paid the bills that she could when she was working, to provide for her and I until she was paid again. And I can remember when I was a kid, we would have to put wood in the wood stove just to keep the house warm, keep us warm, dry clothes and things like that. And I could remember my mom would take hemp rope and tie it around my waist, and she would pull me on one of those old metal trash cans, the lids, like a sled, to drag me through the snow so Mom could split the wood so we could put it in the wood stove so we could be warm. Very
I remember that house.
absolutely. Yeah, we used to when we used to go sled when they used to yell at us all the time because when we used to go down the giant hill and
Yeah,
they'd get onto us because we'd end up in the middle of the damn two lane.
I kind of forgot about that house.
Yep,
I remember it.
yep. So so that was only for a short period of time, man. My mother was ended up with someone else, and he is now my stepfather, who they've been married. They just celebrated 21 years together recently.
No doubt.
Yeah, I know it's crazy, right?
That's wild.
It's crazy. So man, like just going up, like I just remember like I was always this over rambunctious, like always trying to fit in kid, just over egotistical, just loud, obnoxious, trying to be the funny, goofy kid. Like I just always wanted that attention. I just feel like it's just, it started at a young age, man, where I jumped, with my mom and around with my dad sometimes and things like that. I don't know. I just always felt like I was trying to fit in some places. And I think I found my connection and found my, I want to say like what am I trying to, I guess my identity through sports, man. And I can remember like playing soccer with you
Yeah.
and just like finding that way of like just being able to run around and just like enjoy it and understanding like teamwork and things like that. And it all started at a very young age. And again, I realized that like things were different for me because I was just faster than everybody. So I was like, okay, maybe I can make something work here. Um, and I guess that's where I just kind of found that identity, man. So like, one thing led to another until I got a little bit older, and all of my friends that I went to school with, and of course, you were homeschooled. So like when I
Right.
was in public school, the friends that I had in public school all went into football, man. And like I
Right.
just remember like it was only like you and um like I think Malachi McCutcheon, maybe. Like there was only like a couple of us that like I only ever really talked to or hung out with was during soccer. And
Right.
like, all of my other friends that I had in school had went on to football. And man, I can remember like hanging out at work and talking to your dad and talking to my
Huh.
mom and like all the other guys would just come in. They would all be banged up and bruised and talking about football and all this stuff. And I was just like, man, I want to be a part of that. Like, I just really, I don't know why. Just like I want to be cool. Like I want to walk. I want to have those bruises and I want to. I don't know. I want to be cool. I guess is what I guess I would say. And so I was like, it couldn't hurt. Like let's just try it. And I physically remember my mother call me from the house phone and asking, what do I want to do, soccer or football? And I told her I wanted to do football. And I remember my mom like pausing, wondering if like, are you sure you want to do this? And I was like, yeah, like I do. Like, if it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. And
I don't know what's crazier, your mom calling you and pausing at that, or calling somebody off a house phone.
yeah, for sure, for sure. That was when we were up on Muddy Creek, man. I'll never forget
Oh
it. I
man.
was in my room when she asked me that. I'll never forget that. And I was like, yeah, let's try it. So, yeah, and that's what started it, man. And I remember I remember trying it out, man, and I just I don't know, like I was just really I had a really rough go at it that first year, like trying to understand the logistics and fundamentals, and it's just a whole different aspect. And on top of that, like you're getting hit head on and at full speed and things like that. And then like about midway into my first season of playing football, like I started to kind of get the niche of it, and I was like, man, this isn't bad and I like it. And I really liked it. So then I was like, okay. So the next year came along, and then I started to realize, okay, I had that growth spurt very early,
Right.
and I started realizing that like, man, this isn't bad. Like I'm not half bad at this. Like I'm starting to make an impression. Coaches are starting to see it. So you know what? I don't mind it. So fast forward, again, like sports is where I felt like I've had my identity. Like I knew that, I was going to have my friends and I was going to do what I needed to do in school. But it was just like when I was on the field and I had that helmet on, I was like, okay, I think I can make this work. So, fast forward going into middle school, man, like things kind of really started to take off a little bit for me. Like I was, mom and Dennis built a gym in the house at Muddy Creek, and I'm like probably 14 at the time, and I started lifting weights at 14, and
Right.
fast forward in my eighth grade year, man, like I was 5'9" and 170 pounds, and I was playing running back. Like I was bigger, I was stronger, I was way faster, and I just was like, maybe this is it. I don't know, but I know for one thing, it's like I feel like I'm pretty damn good at this sport. So, and I was like, okay, so like then I started doing that, and they're like, oh, let's try track. Okay, so I started doing track, and then like I started winning all these races, and um, I was stronger than everybody, so they put me in shot put, and I won. I got first place in every shot put event in middle school, and it was just like, okay, like I've now see like where I fit in at. Like this is it's almost like I wanted to feel like I was needed. I should say.
You
I guess
wanted a
that's
purpose.
yeah, I did, man. I did. I just felt like I knew if I was on the football field, I was needed, and I knew when I was at a track meet that like I knew for a fact that the track team needed me to be there because I was going to first place and everything. So, let's get into I want to say eighth grade year, freshman year. So, high school hits, man, or going into high school, and like I was like, okay, I'm up and coming kid. I made an impression, and I'd made such an impression egotistically that like the kids in high school knew who I was, and they were going to let me know real quick that I was just a tiny, tiny, tiny minnow in a giant, giant, giant body of water. Very
What year did you graduate?
15.
Okay, so
So
you were a year
year
behind.
after.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Okay.
we were the same age, but I was a year behind because mom made me do 2 years of preschool at where did we go?
Yeah.
Yep, right beside Carnegie Hall.
Yeah.
Oh, yep, that was it.
Uh,
But
I
I
can't
can
remember,
I
but
can't it might hit me here sometime along this recording, but I cannot
great.
think of it.
It's not Grace Bible Academy, is
No, that's where we went in the summertime.
it? Okay.
That's where
I was
we went in the
close.
summertime. Yeah, you were close. That's where we went in the summertime.
Uh,
Um,
I'm out.
so man, like I made really good friends my eighth grade year with a really, 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 really good friend of mine, man. He was my best man at my wedding. We are like thick as thieves, man. He is my brother without a doubt. No ifs, ands, or buts. This man calls me, I come running, and vice versa. I mean, there's not a single month that this man at least once doesn't call me, text me, send me something. Um, Christian, man, and I owe him more than I could ever even explain to you. I owe him my life. We got really, really close, man. And he had an older brother, and unfortunately, he passed away due to this horrible, horrible disease. And he was in that same predicament of wanting to fit in. And I remember he was like, "Man, like we need to hang out with Carrington some." And I just remember it just one thing led to another, and I ended up smoking weed for the first time, man. That's just kind of how like my story went. Like, uh, I was about 15 years old. I tried smoking weed for the first time, man, and it was like the most life changing event of my life. And it was just like those goofy, funny, eat all the chocolate and candy that you can, and just laugh our asses off and have fun, man. And that's what it was. Like it was awesome. And it was like once, and then it was twice, and then it was like every once in a while on the weekends, or maybe when we could beg his brother out of it or something like that. And then like one thing led to another. And then like I started realizing that some of my other friends were doing the same things. So um, fast forward into high school, I'm really starting to like get that niche of like, okay, sports is really working for me. And then like chasing these girls and then like smoking weed on the weekends. And I'm like, man, this is not bad at all. Well, Yeah, this is not bad at all, man. I like this. So I'm gonna get in a little story. There's a couple things I am gonna say. I will not name names. To just it's the same way I would tell this story if I was in AA.
Yeah.
And just keep it anonymous for certain people. So when I was 16 years old, um, while I was in high school, I got a girl pregnant. Unfortunately, due to the circumstances, the pregnancy did not go through. Um, I really didn't have a lot of say in it. It was a very, very, very. It was a mistake. It was. Kids being kids should have been more careful. Should have been more cautious. And unfortunately, things happened. The consequences were taken and made. And that can really mess you up at 16 years old, man. And it did. It
Absolutely.
really, really, really did. It threw me for a whirl
Dude,
because, like,
it'll mess you up at 30.
yeah, man. And it just, it really threw me for a whirl at 16 years old. And, and still, I have a deep love for that person. And, and I know she's doing good now. And I wish her nothing but the best. And it was just an unfortunate situation. So when those things happen, um, lines got twisted, things happen, and we kind of just started to go our separate ways as time went on. And I just kind of started falling off the way in a little bit, and just now smoking weed is becoming more of a regular, and I'm lying to my mom, and I'm hiding it, and all this stuff. And fast forward maybe a year after this situation happened, or this event takes place, and I again, I'm still wanting to try to fit in with people. So again, and you are the same as I am, Mac. We were always raised around people that were older than us.
Oh, absolutely. Hell,
That's how, yeah,
I mean, I was in high school hanging out with people, the guys that our parents worked with.
yeah. And that's who we were, man. Like that's the way we were raised. You and I were raised damn near the same way. Like that's just how it was. Like yeah, I had my friends from beginning to the end of school and then practice, but like any other time or on the weekends, like I'm with 30, 40, 50, 60 year old people. And
Exactly.
um
And normally it was the same house.
yeah, normally. And I just man, I don't know, like it just one thing led to another. And again, there's a couple things I'm going to tell you, and I think you'll be able to piece together a little bit of this. It'll be a little inside joke between me and you.
I'm
But
already piecing it, buddy.
yeah, so one thing led to another, man, and I'm probably 17 at this point. And again, I'm trying to fit in, and I see certain people that I'm around that are older that have the things that I want. They own vehicles, they own their own house, they like to drag race, they like to have fun. Um, so I really started hanging around this person, man, and
Yep.
when that happened, I was introduced to certain things and certain people. And
No, you.
so, yeah, so at 17 years old, I tried cocaine for the first time.
Yep.
Um, so that was I had arrived moment. I thought that was it, but it was my real, like, I had arrived moment. Um, I was like, this is the greatest thing in the world because, like, I like to go fast as it is just as a normal human being, but this just made it 10 times better.
Right.
So, I now, like, I'm doing cocaine on the weekends, and sometimes that on the weekends would go to weekdays. And um, then I realized there's like money involved in this stuff, man. And like, but again, being from a small rural area where we come from, like, you've got to do a lot of running and a lot of movement to make any money.
Yeah.
So now, like, I'm 17 years old. I've got my name in the paper every Friday. I'm making a name for myself on the football field, but yet I'm doing and selling cocaine for no apparent reason, no need, but I'm doing it. And I can remember there would be like weeks that would go by, and my mother would be like, "You're doing all this running, but like, you haven't asked me for a dime for gas money. Like, where are you getting this money from?
Uh,
And, my answer was always the same. Like, my friends are giving me gas because I was always with somebody. You know what I mean?
right.
That was always the cover story.
Yeah. Yeah, I get
I'm always with somebody. Oh, they're giving me gas money, mom. They're giving me gas money, and just whatever. So,
it.
yeah. So now, I'm doing this, and I'm smoking weed all the time, and I mean, I'm doing it as much as I possibly can, and cocaine on the weekends. So, fast forward into my senior year, man, like this is like my make or break it year. Like I'm gonna get myself to college. Like I've already got college offers as a, sophomore, junior. Like
Yeah.
I'm really gonna make a name for myself my senior year, man. And that's what I did. And did I take it serious? No, I didn't. Do I wish? Yeah, of course I do. And that's what I kind of try to instill in these kids that I coach now. But I made a lot of mistakes, and one being, I had an opportunity to really, really, really put my footprint in Southern West Virginia football, and I did to an extent, but could have done a lot more. But again, I didn't take it more serious because I'm on a whole nother level of ego and thinking I've got it all made, and I'm this small town kid that's supposed to make something of himself, and I did to an extent. But then I'm also, I tell people all the time, I don't want to say that Friday Night Lights was my life, but it was my life. I never got in trouble with the police. They let me go no matter what I had. I never, ever got even as much as let me see your license. All they had to do was see who I was, and I got the pass, and I was out. I never got in trouble ever,
Do you
ever.
think that hurt you?
Oh, 100%. I mean, at the time, of course, it was great because, like,
Sure.
good God, if they would have caught me when I was 17, 18 years old, dude, I wouldn't be here telling this story.
Nah, because that
But,
would like beat you, killed you.
oh, yeah, man, if mom wouldn't have killed me, I'd be locked up.
Right.
But
Yeah.
it still didn't stop it. But, again, I'm getting away with anything and everything I want, man. So, Um, fast forward, man, my senior season gets done. I have a great year. I have a great career of football, and I really, really made a name for myself, and I was very proud of what I had done to that point. But again, I still got this itch that I just can't scratch, that I'm just constantly looking for the next big thing, and I'm getting high, and every weekend, and the better I did, the more I got, or the better, win or lose, we booze. I mean, that was my motto. I mean, it really was. And
Boy.
it never stopped. It just didn't stop, man. So, it came time to decide what I was going to do. And I will tell you right now, and, I don't hold this against my mom whatsoever. I don't, because at the end of the day, it was my decision. You've seen the movie The Blind Side.
Yeah.
I will not say you remember the part in the movie where they kept pressing him to go to Ole Miss, kept pressing him to go to Ole Miss, and he had that breakdown when he was like, "Why don't you just let me pick where I want to go for myself?"
Yeah.
So I'm not going to say that didn't happen, but I'm also not going to say that it did happen. Mom really, really wanted me to go where I ended up going to college. I didn't, but at the end of the day, no matter what I did, no matter how much bad I did or how good I did, what mom says goes.
Right.
Mom's been there for me since day one.
Sure.
Uh, um, Mom has never given up on me. Mom has always supported me. So, if it makes mom happy at the end of the day, no matter how much it pisses me off, I'm going to do
Huh.
it. So I pack up my stuff and I go to Wittenberg University in Springfield, Ohio. I was offered an opportunity to play right off the rip. And, my head coach at the time, Joe Fincham, who's the all time winningest coach at that college, probably will be forever. Um, he was originally born in Greenbrier County, which is crazy to say. He was born
Really?
on the west. Yeah, he was born on the western end, man. He
No
moved
shit.
away. Yeah, he moved away. He was born in I want to say Rennick or Rupert, close to there, somewhere over there, man. But
Okay.
he moved away when he was like 2 or 3 years old, and he had always said whenever he packed up and hung up his whistle that he was coming back across state lines. And my college didn't recruit from West Virginia. I was recruited by the head coach through people that mom knew and people that I'd come in contact with. I mean, this man was sending me mail every Friday after a game. I would get this mail every Monday personally from the head coach. And I just was like, man, because I understood the recruiting process. I mean, I went to
Right.
Virginia Tech, I went to Marshall, I went to Ohio University, VMI. I went to these D1 schools, but like I was getting messages and letters from the head coach, and I'm like, okay, so maybe this is a little bit different. So I was the first West Virginia recruit in over a decade, and I was also from the same county as the head coach. But it was one of those things, man. It was crazy, and I remember getting up there and they're like, "Oh, you're Finchem's boy," and I'm like, "Oh man, this is gonna go great." So at the time, the girl that I was dating, I said, "Hey, listen, I want to go to college. I want to go live this Friday night lights lifestyle. You know, I don't want a relationship while I'm in college." And of course, it broke her heart. And I wasn't ready to just be in a relationship while going to college, man. Like I wanted to go have fun. I wanted to party. I wanted to chase girls. And so she went to Florida and I went to Ohio. And within about, I want to say a month of me being in college, I get a phone call and she tells me she's pregnant. And I'm like, oh my God, here we go again. Like, what are we doing? What are we doing?
Well, I can tell you what you're not doing.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, 100%, man. I'm a gambler, 100% through and through.
Yeah.
I like to roll the dice.
You forgot the seat belts.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm a gambler, man.
There.
Yeah, definitely did, man. So, I'm like, what am I gonna do? Like, this girl's 1,200 miles away from me. Like, I'm just now getting ready to start my life and in college, and like, I'm finally getting all my dreams I've been chasing for 10 and 12 years, and it's getting ready to all come crashing down. And about 4 weeks later, I get a phone call from her, and she tells me she's had a miscarriage, and I'm like, wow. So, in my mind, the God, at what I thought I understood at the time, was like, you took the first one, I'm taking the second one. And that's what I told myself. That's what I wanted to believe. So the God concept at 18 years old was gone and out of my life and nowhere to be found again.
Sure.
I was done with it. So God didn't help me get to here. God didn't do this. God didn't do that. The whole self-righteous, selfishness, self-centeredness thing that they talk about in the big book. I'm going to do this. I did this all on my own. I'm going to continue to do it all on my own. So, fast forward into college, man, I make a position change and I go from running back to safety and I start to make a impact. I'm trying to find my niche into it, man, and I'm trying to make things work. And I'd gotten injured, and in the process of me being injured, I was in rehab. And I was doing rehab, and I met this girl, lo and behold, and we started talking. And she had just come off an ACL injury. She was a swimmer, and she was getting prescribed these lovely little pills called Percocet.
God damn it!
Yeah, and she's like, I can't take these things. They make my stomach hurt. Well, she was getting 100 count a month.
Holy crap!
Yeah, yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Dude,
So,
I had a procedure to put a catheter through my abdomen into my bladder, and they didn't even prescribe me Motrin afterwards.
Yeah. Yeah, it was nuts, man. And she's like, I can't take these. So she would keep 10 and give me 90.
Holy shit.
And I remember the first time taking a Percocet and walking out onto a football field, man. It was, I can't even explain to you the feeling that I had. It was unbelievable. I was in love. Like, I truly was in love. Like, cocaine really wasn't there anymore. Like, I kind of, when I left West Virginia, I didn't, if it was offered, yeah, of course I was going to do it. But like, I wasn't in dire searching need for it. But believe me, if I would have found it, I would have kept on it. But, I found Percocet, man, and I was like, oh my God. So, needless to say, fast forward into the season, I'm partying every weekend. I'm taking anything that's offered to me. Now we're up to mid-season. We're talking smoking weed, taking Percocet, Xanax, Adderall, Vyvanse,
Oh, yeah.
promethazine, codeine. I found acid. Love acid. I will.
Yeah.
That is a true love that to this day still. I mean, all of it is still a true love. But LSD
Why the acid though?
man, I'll be honest. The first time I tried it, because I had smoked DMT one time in my life, and I had done it when I was like 17, 16 years old. And it
Right.
was like a once in a lifetime opportunity to do it, man. And it was the craziest thing. Do you remember just to kind of give you a perspective of it? Do you remember the movie Bruce Almighty?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Do you remember when he is trying to impress Jennifer Aniston and he pulls the moon in closer and he starts poking the sky and making more stars to make it look more pretty?
Yeah.
Okay. To give you an example of what smoking DMT was, I felt like I could reach up and grab the stars.
No shit.
I mean, I can't exaggerate that anymore and make
Well,
it more real for you. Like it was like I could reach up and touch the stars. I mean, it was life changing. So acid, man, LSD, it let me go into that other dimension and just let me be free. Like it was something about like being able to turn off the motor but still being able to drive. Does that make
right.
sense?
Yeah. No, I get you.
Like none of the thinking. There was no thinking. It was just doing. Like there was no free thinking. It was just like everything's great. I'm
You literally
happy.
just you didn't give a shit.
None. None. Though you could have shot me in my chest with a slug and
I
I would
don't.
have just been like, wow, that's a
I,
cool hole.
I don't recommend that.
Yeah, yeah, I wouldn't, no, I wouldn't either. Absolutely not. But it just, man, I don't know. It was just one of those things. It's just like it changes your whole perspective, man. And they're doing it for certain people for treatment now. To be honest with you, of course, I can't do that, and I know that I can't.
Right.
But do I think that it can be a positive? For some people, I think it could. I mean, just for the simple fact, like the ayahuasca and all this other stuff that they're doing now. For some people, yeah, I think so. I mean, my God, that's what they used to do back in the day for
So
treatment for alcoholics.
is that? And I listen to the Sean Ryan podcast a lot. I don't know if
Yeah,
you ever listened to it,
yeah,
but
yeah,
have you heard them talking about going to like out of the country to get
yeah.
the psychedelics?
Oh, yeah,
That's interesting to me because we're on this whole topic about substance use and
yeah.
treatment and stuff, but yet we've got this as a medical solution on the other
Absolutely.
side. So, I mean, as somebody that struggled with substance abuse,
Yeah.
is that something that you could do and not suffer from, or is that totally
I,
out of the
yeah.
spectrum?
For me, I'm gonna say absolutely not. And the only reason, I don't want to say the only reason, where I'm at in my life today, in my sobriety and my recovery and what I've done to get to here, the
Mhm.
biggest reason why it's an immediate no for me is I've got, excuse me, I've gotten to that point in my recovery where it's just an automatic no because I don't even want to give it a chance to tempt me.
Sure. No, and
You
that makes
know,
perfect sense. I don't know that side of the thought
right?
process because, I mean, if you look at it, I mean, there's a ton of military veterans out there that suffer from substance use and abuse.
Absolutely.
So I'm thinking in the realm of things, you have this psychedelic treatment. Like,
Yeah.
is that an automatic no for somebody that has
Yeah.
suffered substance use and abuse?
Yeah, and some people, and some people are different. It's just like I've dealt with so many people, man. So I've helped so many people, and I've met and dealt with so many people in the the recovery field. And I've met people that were heroin addicts that got sober and now they smoke weed every day, but they're perfectly fine. You know what I mean? I know some people that were methamphetamine addicts or cocaine addicts, and now they just drink and they're okay. And like again, that works for them. And I tell that even when I'm teaching a group in front of the guys at Recovery Point or past treatment facilities I've worked at. If you can get all of your things right and in order and all your ducks in a line and do what you need to do to get yourself right and you can drink, that's great. My hat's off to you. I can't.
Right.
I physically can't. Now, it's just like I say about anything else. It's just like, if you're getting off probation, if you're getting off parole, if you're getting your kids back, or you're working on having your kids, or starting a family, got a job, paying your bills, you're doing everything you're supposed to do as being a law-abiding citizen. I'm not going to look at you a certain type of way. I have no ill will for anybody. It's just, I know for me personally, I can't, because once I start, I can't stop.
Sure.
Even if it was just because, for the simple fact, even if I go out of the country and I'm gone for a week and I do it 3 times, when I get back to the States, all I'm going to think about is, when can I go back?
Right.
You know what I mean? It's just going to drive me insane.
It makes perfect sense. And
Yeah.
that's the side of things that I personally don't understand, which is one of the biggest aspects as to why I started this, is because I would like to understand more. But just it being different for different people, and knowing that treatment process is out there, it's something that I haven't really looked that far into. But while we were on the topic of LSD and all of that, I didn't know if you had heard.
No. I listen, Aaron Rodgers, the quarterback of the Pittsburgh Steelers, he's huge about it, and he's open about it. Hell, there's a Netflix series about him doing it.
Really? I have to look for that.
Yeah, just look it up. It's called, you'll just have to just go on Netflix and just type in Aaron Rodgers. It's on there. He goes into the whole thing, and there's multiple NFL players that are at the camp that he's at. I mean, he's a huge influencer about it, and he says it's great. And that works for him, and that's helped him with his mental health and being a multi-million-dollar super celebrity quarterback in the NFL. Like that's huge. But again, that works for some people, and for him in his life and in the things that he does, that's probably a huge, crucial help for him, because it gives him that opportunity to have free thinking with no expectations, no judgments, no cameras, no commentators, no questions. Like, it's just it's a way for him to just be Aaron, and that's great. I would say if I'm a $50 million quarterback, I'm probably going to do it too. You know what I mean? Give me a chance to literally cut off from the world. Yeah,
and that's a wrap for today's episode of the Quadcast.
Remember, breaking stigma doesn't stop when the episode ends. We're building a movement, and you're a part of it. Stay strong, stay aware, and stay connected.
This is the Quadcast, signing out.